I live very close to the Swedish border, and if I cross the border and drive 2.5 hours by car, I come to the city of Karlstad, which is the city where Retroland 2025 is happening this beautiful October day. Retroland is a large retro-themed fair expo held in Karlstad. It's one of Sweden's biggest fairs in its category, focusing on vinyl records, CDs, video games, classic consoles, films in various formats, retro toys, comic books, anime, and similar nostalgic items. It is of course not as big as some of the mega fairs in the US, but for Scandinavia this is pretty big. And I love the nostalgic atmosphere in fairs like this. If you grew up in the 70s, 80s or 90s, this is an event that is meant to feel like a trip back in time. And as such, a good opportunity for hunting down that elusive item you've been looking for. And for me, that is, among other things, PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, both for myself and for my son. There is an abundance of games here. But my true passion is collecting films, movies on physical formats, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K, UHD releases, etc., etc. And I'm happy to see that Sweden still renames some of the titles to Swedish, like The Fog, which is called Dimman in Sweden. I love it. And of course, used DVDs and Blu-rays still going very strong in Norway and Sweden. And here's another thing I really liked. They had lined up a series of guest appearances, profiles. Here's the Pink Man, known in Sweden as Den Rosa Mannen. And this is a great opportunity for fans to shake hands and meet their favorite actors or whatever. And here's by far the most interesting profile this year, I think. This is Kristina Lindberg from the movie Thriller, A Cruel Picture, also known as Hooker's Revenge, or they call her One Eye. And if you love 70s sexploitations or violent rape and revenge story movies, this was definitely one of the more interesting corners of the fair to visit. Books and Italian soundtracks on vinyl and even more obscure vinyl releases. Pretty cool. And then I found what I was hoping to find. You never know, but I found a couple of guys selling laserdiscs. Now, laserdiscs were never as big or popular in Scandinavia as they were in the US and Japan. But nevertheless, there are a lot of us still fans of laserdiscs, collectors of laserdiscs in Norway and Sweden. And I found a couple of releases here that I bought and took home. Unfortunately for me, this particular guy, which had a lot of Disney laserdiscs, he had left behind at his home the ones I'd really want to buy, like Song of the South, among others. But he had a couple of other titles I really liked and that I bought, like this Japanese release of Christine, which is missing from my collection. And another title which I had a long time ago but is missing now, not rare or anything, is Point Break, another movie I really love, so I bought that as well. He also had a little collection of anime here. I'm not a big collector of anime, but I like a few titles which I buy if I see them. It's usually more if I like the cover art or maybe the music, the soundtrack on certain series, then I'll buy them. But most of the time, I'll leave these for other people which are more interested in anime. This guy also had very decent prices. I think he had most of his titles for around $10 equivalent in Swedish kroner or less. So unless it was a very expensive or a little bit more rare box, he had very decent prices. I'll give him that. That was not the case with another guy I found who sold a few Laserdiscs. He wanted upwards of $30 for all of his titles. I didn't have time to check the Laserdisc database, so I don't know if it was worth it for any of them. I didn't buy any of him. But I did find one title in this box, a third guy, and I found Heathers for $10, missing from my collection, so I bought that. Even if I'm not into every nostalgic item that turns up on an event like this, it's always fun to just walk around and watching. My old friend Freddie was here, of course. Love him, and memorabilia of all kinds. check out the puzzle box. And as a Norwegian, I appreciated the figure here from Dead Snow. And I had, of course, also promised my youngest son to be on the lookout for Pokemon cards. He's a big collector of those, so I went on a little search for that. And for my youngest daughter, who is really into manga, I went on a little search for that. And if you like comic books and stuff like that, this was, of course, a little piece of haven. And then I went over to those selling CDs and vinyl. I am a musician after all, and there's always some CDs to pick up. I love CDs, I still collect them. So I found a little stack of CDs, which I brought home with me. Usually when I'm on fairs or flea markets, I bring home some vinyl as well. But this time I went home empty-handed, no vinyl for me this time. And this wraps up Retroland 2025 for me. I hope you enjoyed this little ride, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching 5 minutes of retro. I'm Espen Kraft. Cheers.